You only need one pair of shoe for any time of the year.
Yes.
And that is...
Jesus would wear Crocs if they were around when he was around.
Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast. I am Spencer Cartier.
And I am Constantinople.
We are coming off of a big little weekend break.
Big little.
Well, it was a big little because we came out with 2 little videos.
Yeah.
10 minutes for all of our ADD audience.
True.
Van Build.
Don't make fun of ADD.
Van Build came out on Saturday. The meme review, as always, came out on Sunday. I highly recommend you watch both of them. If you haven't already, stop this podcast right now. Come back to it. Watch it.
And let me just take this opportunity to say something about watching videos later. On the YouTube page, underneath the video, everybody knows where, hit subscribe, hit share, hit like. Everybody knows these words. A lot of people don't know the save button.
I don't even know it.
All right. I hit it all the time because I do have ADD, not as a joke, but as a real disability. If you hit save, it goes into your account.
Yeah.
And later, when you have time or inclination, you look at the videos that you can pull up the videos that you saved and you can watch it.
Instead of going to search and trying to remember.
And trying to research it again, yeah.
Who can remember all these things? But yes, 2 videos up, both under 12 minutes. I think one was 10, one was 12.
Yeah.
So check them out.
Yeah. I think it was 11 something.
Whoa, look at that. Sub 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those were a lot of fun to make. Hopefully the Van Build keeps going so we get these Saturday videos out for you.
It will. Not hopefully.
No, it'll keep going. I'm saying so much we're waiting on things to arrive.
Oh, you mean sooner rather than later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually. I mean, by 2025, the van will be done. The van will probably be sold at that point.
The year?
Yeah. So I'm saying, like you said, of course, yeah, it'll be done sometime. When I say hopefully they come out, I mean hopefully they come out in the next few weeks.
Weeks, yeah.
2021. But we're back on a
holiday was
Wednesday.
Yesterday.
Holiday was 2 days ago.
2 days ago?
Yeah, we're starting midweek.
Okay.
Midweek podcast.
Midweek. Camel Day.
Stop saying Camel Day. It's Hump Day. It's Wednesday.
I don't like Hump Day.
Like, you don't like the idea of it being called?
I didn't grow up with it. People started saying it, and I was like...
I feel like it was...
So
you heard it, but it was really...
corny.
What was that? That Geico commercial?
Was it?
I think the Geico commercial really made it like a meme. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Hump
I never
Day.
knew it.
Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Well, on this Hump Day...
In, I don't know if it's in different countries. I don't know if it's just in John's life.
Who's John?
Your dad. But they have a there was a saying from his nation, his Caribbean nation, where it was a Wednesday is a person who's always in the middle of everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Getting in the way.
Yeah.
Like pick a side. Do you want to be at the beginning of the week? Do you want to be close to the weekend?
Right.
Don't be a Wednesday. Yeah. Isn't Wednesday one of the Addams family?
Yes, the girl.
All right.
Avalon did a theater makeup. She turned herself into a
Addams family-esque character.
I loved it.
What number podcast is it?
I have no idea.
Let's just say 47.
Sure.
47, I think. And today's topic is...
Okay. Today's topic is a Bible verse.
A Bible verse. Okay. I feel like we always start the week Bible. Like, I feel like we sort of have a system. It starts off Bible verse, and then it sort of teeters into just a random noun.
I like when systems develop naturally.
Yeah. Like
if we started out and we said, we're going to do Bible verses first, then we're going to do a one word something, and then we're going to do, Yeah. But it just, if it's
it works out that way.
If it's happening naturally.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay. So anyway, it's a Bible verse, but this is the thing. I don't have the Bible verse for you to read.
Okay.
Like you've done in the past, because this Bible verse is found in all 4 Gospels.
All 4 Gospels.
So it's written differently in Matthew than Mark,
yes.
than
yes.
Luke, than John. So, but the gist of it, very popular, is John the Baptist is talking.
Okay.
And people are thinking he is the Messiah.
Yes.
And he said, no, I'm baptizing you with water. The one that comes behind me will baptize you with the fire of the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And the part I'm getting to is, I am not worthy to loosen the straps of his sandals. And then it said differently. Another apostle said that he said, I'm not worthy to carry his sandals. I'm not, So the main Bible verse ribbon that's running through this is when John the Baptist referred to the fact that he wasn't even of the caliber to be able to touch Jesus's shoes. So it's like for all our shoe aficionados out there, it's a shoe podcast.
Oh, I thought we were talking about
We are. I was starting with that, but I mean a whole podcast.
Let's end with that.
Really?
Because talking about shoes, let's not get into just talking about Nike and Reebok.
I heard there's a whole niche there on the internet for that.
You're talking about like foot fetishes?
Yeah, is it foot? I thought it was shoes.
Well, like they're sneakerheads.
That's normal.
So I'm confused.
There's abnormals, like people who want to buy your old shoes and not because they're sneakerheads.
No, that's foot fetish stuff.
Oh, that's foot still?
Yeah,
okay.
like your foot was in this.
Okay.
We're definitely not talking about that.
No, but the reason I wanted to open it up to shoes is because didn't you used to be a sneakerhead?
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like you're because maybe you have ye of little faith. Mm-hmm. Does not think that idea of John the Baptist saying that is not worth a whole podcast, which I think it is. So then
I guess I am of little faith.
Teeter on. I used to have a shoe collection.
And shame on me, because if it was written if Matthew and Mark and Luke and John all thought that needed to be written, I guess it was pretty important.
It was pretty important. So get anyone who just tuned in looking to listen to my Jordan collection, turn off the podcast. Go watch.
But I also had something to say about
we can talk about shoes. Okay. I'm just saying that's not the podcast topic.
Okay. It won't be written in
it'll be sideline conversations.
Okay.
It'll be, little or not. What is it? We'll go on tangents about shoes.
Okay.
Let's put it like that.
Okay.
But today's podcast is on John the Baptist saying, Jesus, I'm not worthy.
Right.
To unstrap the bootstraps of the man himself.
Right.
And I like that topic. That's why I was wondering. I'm like, as soon as you said it, I'm like, I feel like I can go off on this.
Oh, you're better than me. Yeah.
John the Baptist, he was a dope dude. Mm-hmm. I liked him a lot. He was a man with a plan. He did good, but he knew where he stood. Ooh. Oh, okay. And so, like, you hear that and you think the person behind him is, haha, none of you are worthy. Jesus let John the Baptist baptize. John the Baptist says, you should be baptizing me. And he said, no, you're doing it. So don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted thinking that he was saying the one Messiah you will not be able to touch. But what he was saying, which I think is so relevant and important to understand, is that as a person of faith, as a person who is giving to others spiritual guidance and direction, being baptized, like what's more like, hey, can you baptize me? He needed to make it clear, and he did make it clear every time. He said, I am just the messenger. I will baptize you, but it's not even me who's baptizing you.
And you don't really see that a lot nowadays.
You don't see that nowadays, and you don't see it even all the way in the Bible. Mm-hmm. And I think that's so important to understand, because I feel like that's how you should. When you see what we call evangelists, if you watch the evangelist podcast, the biggest problem is I don't think they have that. Mm-hmm. They are speaking for Jesus, speaking for Jesus, rather than I'm not even worthy to speak him. I can only do what
he can handle that.
Yeah, I can only do what I can do. And so that is why Jay the Baptist is so cool, and he came across as just like he always made it clear, I am just a man. I am just a man. And that's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be condemning other people or any of these things. That's all up to Jesus. That's all up to God. If you are spreading the word, it's just letting all that come through you. And it makes me want to talk a little bit about false prophets. Be worried. What's the beware of false prophets. I think we make that on a higher pedestal than it is. And so when we hear beware of false prophets, we think, oh, watch out. There's going to be the
most magical antichrist.
Yeah, there's going to be a leader that comes out and who amasses a following and yada yada, and like you'll know it when you see it, because he's prophesizing. He's standing up on the mountaintop and he's saying, "Follow me," and then you're like, "I'll be ready." I'll say, "No, I'm not going to follow you." There's false prophets all around you. I think.
Yeah.
You know, like John the Baptist. You know, if he didn't say those words, he could be considered a false just by. Do you remember the story of when Moses struck water from the rock?
Yeah.
The reason why I think it got God mad, you know, it was because even though, you know, Moses and his his brother Aaron were men who followed God fully, and that was an act of through God, it still just made it a little bit too much about them. Like, I strike the rock. And you see it so much in Christianity and other religions too, of people who put themselves on this pedestal. And even if you agree with what they're saying, even if you have to be wary if they're making it about themselves.
Right.
And if they're saying, I know, you don't know.
Right.
You don't know. You can be a follower of Jesus, but to be a follower, it means I'm following the leader. The leader knows all. I do not know all. And so you get all these small time false prophets who my minister said that these people are condemned. My minister said that, you know, yeah, you shouldn't do that. It's like, beware of false prophets. Did Jesus say that? Huh? Did he?
There used to be this funny bumper sticker that was circulating, and it said, "Don't follow me, I'm lost." You know,
Yeah.
And when I think of sheep, you know, and Jesus is the shepherd, and really just you attaching yourself to one particular sheep and not losing sight of the shepherd, like, you know.
Because I think I might be attacking people too much right now. I'm going to dial it back a bit. But I think how many times have I said it? I think a big problem in churches is this fear of saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, or I can't tell you that for certain. And that is what teeters on the line of, okay, well, the only way to combat that is to, okay, I have an answer for everything. Mostly, you see religious people and they have it all figured out, right? They have an answer for everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's important in those times to, you know, be like John the Baptist, like, hey, listen, I only know what I know. I might be wrong. Why can not a single faith believing person say, I might be wrong, but this is what I believe? Right. They don't. They say, you're wrong. I know you're wrong.
I know. And if you want to make an appointment with a pastor or anyone really, a faith healer, a psychic, you put everything on their lap and you wait to be told. Yeah. Like, it'd be good to have a meeting with any of these people and say, let's talk about it. I mean, because you and I talk, like, it's not like I don't go to you and say, like, tell me what the answer is. Yeah. And vice versa. But we'll say, like, this is what I'm thinking. Yeah. What do you think about that? And we don't even have to come to a conclusion at the end of the talk because there really isn't an answer book. It's not like school. You turn to the back of the book and you get the answers. Yeah. So it's just a constantly pondering. You can ponder too much. Yeah. You know, but.
No, I think it's a good point. And it's another reason why I like John the Baptist and others who come before him, because I think also as a teaching lesson to people of faith, it's important to teach. He was just a man. He was a man.
John the Baptist?
John the Baptist. And he did all those things through Jesus, through God. Don't And he wanted to make it clear. Like, the second you put me on a pedestal, I'm up here and you guys are down here. Like, I'm doing what you got. The only reason I can do all this is not from me. It's from, the heavens above that I'm allowing to access.
And I'm still wondering about each apostle writing it in the gospel. And I'm wondering if, like, the Old Testament, there were these powerhouses, Abraham, and you come, and each one is known. And even when Jesus refers to them like, I'm fulfilling what was said by these important men, But is this New Testament a time where it's no longer a waterfall to Jesus? It's everybody can now start, because Jesus came to send people out. No, for sure. And I like I said, it's coming from the time of the judges and, Daniel, all these people where it was like, there was this disconnect. Right.
And then in the New Testament, you see it turn into, if you're like, that's, I think, so important of the disciples being a roused about group of fishermen and thieves and all these people. It's no longer you are the coveted son who from birth was known to be a king one day. It's like you might be born a vagrant and die a vagrant. What does vagrant mean?
Like well, the inappropriate word is bum. Like
okay. I was worried. I was like, am I saying it? Are you allowed to say vagrant?
I don't know.
Who cares?
There's probably a legal thing called vagrancy, and that's when you hang out somewhere where you're not supposed to be, and you've been told to leave, and you have no right to be there. Yeah. But I know what you meant.
You know what I meant, and that I feel like that's a big part of it. Is the New Testament is showing, hey, you all can do this. Just remember, like, and that's what I've been preaching since day one. Is that it's good to learn from other people, but you all have the power. Like, am I saying, John Baptist was a nobody? Anyone could have done it. No, not at all. He had the ability just like anyone else, but he did it, like a teacher. Like, anyone can stitch someone's hand up. It's like, you still might want to go to a doctor because they've done it. They've done it more than you have. Yeah. But is it saying, doctors or even, I don't know, who does stitches? I feel like nurses can do stitches.
Barbers used to do stitches. Barbers
would stitch you up.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, the barber pole. I how did you escape this in my life? The barber pole that's red and white and spins, that represents blood and bandages, and it would be outside the barber shop, and I think it spun. Well, there'd be no electricity. Maybe it only spun in modern times, but anyway. The barber pole was a symbol to people that in that place, that person has antiseptic, they have a sharp blade, and I guess they have sewing utensils, whatever. So yes, they cut your hair and they cut your beard and everything like that. But also, there was no minute clinic. So if you got hurt, you'd run to the barber. And then they, like I said, they have antiseptic to make sure that they don't give you infections, just giving you a haircut.
Huh. Barber, I want to open one.
Open one
like
what?
Go back to the roots. Be a barber / stitcher upper.
Well, we have Preston's the barber, so
he only needs to learn one thing. Preston is my brother, who is also a barber.
Yeah.
You drop names a lot.
Do I?
Yeah.
It's on the Instagram too that he cut your hair.
Yes. Mm-hmm. In studio haircut.
Now, Jesus flipped the script a bit, did he? Maybe I'm wrong, but so. Before he came, John the Baptist said, this amazing, wonderful king, superior being is coming. And I'm not even allowed to touch the sandals on his feet. Jesus ended up touching all the disciples' feet and washing them.
Yeah. No, that's sort of what I was trying to get at from the beginning was when I said he was saying this sort of to say where he is, not to say where Jesus sees him. It was not this man.
Got you.
It was... He was saying, I know my place. Like, he is far greater than I am.
Got you. I
am only doing what I can. And then Jesus came, and that was like sort of one of the greatness about him. And he was like, I'm showing his unconditional love and his.
That's interesting. on a much smaller scale, like I think of like, like say you had an older neighbor or something and they didn't require you to be respectful of them.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to call me Mrs. Mitchell and it's okay. And so you're free to not be respectful to them, but you're still respectful to them because regardless of what somebody expects from you, you should always expect something from yourself.
Yeah. It's like in the end of the Lord of the Rings when Aragorn was the king.
Okay.
And then he told all the hobbits to stand up.
You bow to no one.
Do you guys remember that?
And what happened?
Well, because like everyone was kneeling before the king.
Oh, okay.
And then he said, "You do not kneel before me." And then they stood up.
Okay.
And it was made me think of something else.
Well, it makes me think of Pope Francis because I really find that of all the popes in my lifetime, that he really
embodied that. Yeah.
Turn off the spotlight.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing those shoes and I don't need all the jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of dialed it back.
Yeah. Well, did you watch The Two Popes?
I did.
Yeah. You see a lot of just some of his early years of like being in Argentina.
Yeah.
Being in Argentina. I'm trying to think of what I was trying to say when we were talking about the king, or Jesus was like, "Don't bow before me."
The part where he washed the feet of the.
Forget it. It's gone. The thought is gone.
All right. Maybe it'll come back to you.
If it was meant to be. Maybe I wasn't meant to say it. The Holy Spirit's like, zip your mouth shut.
You didn't want to go off
topic to shoes. All right, let's talk about shoes. Let's hear your shoe story.
Well, I have so many.
Okay,
there's more Bible stories. We have the burning bush with Moses. And
so here's my thing.
God said, "Don't."
Here's just you shut your mouth. Here's my thing. I don't think that story was about shoes. That's my biggest concern about the crossover.
Okay.
Like, I don't think it had anything to do with his sandals.
Okay.
So that's the only reason why I'm like, how much do we want to? Because I think that was so much of just saying who he was compared to who Jesus was.
Okay, I get you.
But now, with that said, you can talk about shoes if you want. But I don't know if we should go into more Bible verses because, like, I think the Moses with the burning bush.
He said, "Take off your shoes. You're on holy land."
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this is hallowed ground.
But so that's not going to work for us.
No. That's separate.
That's fine, and that's why this podcast is not pre-written, pre-rehearsed, pre-recorded. It's filmed before a live absent audience, and that's fine. Yeah. So something that popped in my mind, and no, it doesn't have to do with that Bible verse, but it had to do with shoes, was modesty. And I guess that's a whole other podcast, because I was watching another YouTube channel, and this woman was extremely judgmental about modest clothing and about hemlines and necklines and how tight something is and how revealing it is. But, she had on sandals where her feet were naked, and it made me think about modest. Is there modest shoes? Like, are hooker heels, as they're called? Like, is that inappropriate to God? Is having naked feet inappropriate to God?
Modesty will be tomorrow's podcast. Okay. That's a whole topic. That's probably more. We can talk more about modesty than we can talk about this one Bible verse. Okay. So you're close. You're doing good. But hey, for once, you guys know what we're talking about tomorrow.
Yeah, and you know what goes on with us?
A little BTS action.
A little BTS. So I already mentioned that you had been a sneakerhead. So do you want to say anything about that?
I mean, back in high school, I got big into shoes. I would every Friday or Saturday, I had 3 different apps on my phone that showed all the releases coming up, and every Friday or Saturday I would go to the mall, I would go beforehand, and a lot of times you need raffle tickets, and so I'd go to 3 malls and get raffle tickets, and usually I'd get one, and then I would wait outside before open and go in and get my shoes. And then I would buy, or I would sell some for more than I bought them for. It's a whole.
So you always bought it in your size, or you needed to get the newest pairs and then probably get rid of it?
There was some time, I mostly bought it for my size. I wasn't really keen on the idea of selling my shoes. I only sold a few, but the only times I bought out of my size is if I knew I was going to sell them. Like the Jordan Ferraris, those I bought like 2 sizes down. I wore them to one event, and then I sold them after that. But yeah, cool little thing.
And do you still have any knowledge of that world? Like I remember when that first became a reality of someone's sneakers were important and they were a fashion. They were like, when I grew up, it was women's shoes was the expensive thing. Yeah. There was Imelda Marcos, who she was, I don't know, some despot's wife, and they plundered her house and they found that she had $1 million shoes. Women's shoes were expensive. Do you know when it first started? Was it I guess
Jordan era.
Jordan,
Jordan shoes really changed the game, and
people started getting mugged.
Yeah. There's a whole
that was new, you know.
Yeah, there's a whole underworld to it, but it was really the first shoe that what was so genius about it was to create this aftermarket appeal. Mm-hmm. So you think, okay, let's design a perfect shoe. You know, like, okay, we're Nike, we're going to design a perfect shoe. We're going to make infinite amount of pairs and sell them all, thinking that was a good idea because, boom, you get all these sales.
Yeah.
What Jordan, through Nike, obviously, the partnership did was, no, we're only going to sell 100,000 of these. And then after that, the value increases. But the thing about it is, what went from, okay, we're selling a million of these shoes. With the Jordan shoes in that aftermarket, it makes it so that you're buying shoes every single week.
Right.
And then although you're losing the money in the aftermarket selling, mm-hmm. you are making so much more money. And it created this whole, it's a collector's item just as much as it is to wear.
Yeah.
And so it's still huge. I mean, it is still huge. There are shows and channels dedicated just to it. There's jobs that all you are is it's like stocks. You just buy and sell high demand shoes.
Like a scout.
A shoe scout.
Shoe scout. Yeah. I also remember sneakers not being for everybody in the family at all.
What does that mean?
When I grew up, everybody wore shoes, and sneakers were for athletics.
Yeah, tennis shoes. Some people still call them.
Tennis shoes. I think in the UK you call them trainers. Dad wore shoes, and Mom wore shoes. I don't have to keep saying each person, but everybody wore shoes. And then if you had gym class, you'd have to bring your sneakers with you. And I remember when people started wearing sneakers. Old women, it looked funny. You'd be like, because old women used to wear actually little high heels.
Yeah,
they wearing sneakers. The classic look of the is in the 80s. The woman in the work outfit, and she has on sneakers, and she's carrying her high heels with her. And then they make jokes. I think dads wear New Balance or something.
Yeah. The dad shoe mowing the lawn.
But even babies, they had shoes strap little.
I'm not for the babies in sneakers
or in any shoe at all.
Oh, you can put shoes. Well, put little baby shoes on it.
No, when you guys were little, I kept my kids as much as I could. Well, we lived in the Caribbean, barefoot, because I always felt to learn how to walk. I see these little tiny babies in Timberlands, and I'm like, it's hard enough to learn how to walk.
Yeah, I can barely walk in Timberlands.
And then you can't feel your feet, but
I was saying more than baby. I think to 3 years old, dressed like a baby. Oh, look at him in his polo and his backwards hat. It's dress him up at
you don't
a baby.
Want little Spencers of your colt.
They put the little the army of Spencers
running around.
No, dress your baby up like a baby. It says it right there in the Bible.
Listen, you want to hear? Okay, I said my old. I remember a time before sneakers. Yeah. But my uncle, who is deceased at this point, when he was young, So we're talking in the 20s. He wore a dress. So back in the back. Thank
What
you.
year is this?
Thank you, Sierra. That's our symbol. Thank you, C-Cup's design for my mask. In the 20s.
You wore a dress in the 20s?
Yes.
And you got away with it?
Baby boys. You know when people say, oh, back in our day, masculine and everything like this?
Yeah.
Little boys wore dresses, just to let y'all know.
I guess in the 20s, like, what was it? All just like potato sack dresses, though, right?
It was like a pretty, like, christening dress. I mean, I'm talking baby in a carriage.
Oh, well, it's a baby.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone can wear dresses, but
Yeah.
in the 20s, I thought you meant like little boys were playing soccer.
No.
Wearing dresses.
I think they wore shorts until they were, I think long pants symbolized that you're a big boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm a big boy now.
Yeah.
My long pants on.
Yeah. You wear long socks, high socks, and shorts. But, it was a grab bag today.
What does that mean?
A grab bag is, just think of the word. It was like a bag full of pull in. You don't know what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? So when someone says this was a grab bag, it's like, it was a whole bunch of stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah. What are we going to name this podcast? But,
miscellaneous?
To wrap up the sneakers, I'm no longer a sneakerhead. I really only have one pair of shoes I wear exclusively, Allbirds.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna do a little plug for them.
Yeah.
They don't pay me yet, but they will if I keep plugging them enough. Allbirds, it's the perfect shoe. It's so comfortable.
It's washable, right?
It's washable, made of wool, so it's warm in the winter and cool in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've lost my sneakerhead ways, and now it's more about all reliable. I have like a pair of like Chelsea boots for the winter, a pair of Sperry's for the summer, but all year round.
Are you forgetting a very important pair of footwear that you have that is going to be so sad over there on the shelf? Your holy
Realistically,
Crocs?
you only need one pair of shoe for any time of the year.
Yes.
And that is...
Jesus would wear Crocs if they were around when he was around.
That's probably true.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, no, like yeah.
It's the sandal that takes you across the...
Yeah. This is what you evangelize in right here.
Yeah. You can go in the river. He's a fisherman. Come out.
Walk on the water.
Sports mode for when you're running from the captors.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming today. Today's midweek first podcast.
Thank you to the new subscribers.
Thank you to the new subscribers. We will be back tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You don't have to guess. You can plan for the fact
that's right.
that we will be talking about modesty. So wear something tight.
Yeah, to be like, just to be oppositional to us.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know what we're gonna say yet.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It's been real and it's been fun.
Oh my gosh, my beautiful thing.
Peace.